All right, everybody, so we're just going to jump right in today for the sake of the replay. For those of you that are joining me after the live, hi and welcome in. This is Soothe the Season's 25 days of breathwork for navigating through grief and stress during the holidays. So if you have been here with me for the last 3 nights, I want to say congratulations to you and welcome in. And really just take a minute to just honor you and give you a pat on the back for being here and for being a part of Soothe the Season. So today is day 4, and so as people are jumping in, I will just kind of explain one more time what we're doing. But we are on day 4 tonight of Soothe the Season, and so tonight we're just going to be dipping back into a breath awareness. Tonight is all about finding comfort in the stillness, about taking time to simply just be, breathe, and check in with the body. One thing that I wanted to do in this series was make sure that this was more than just showing up or popping into a live, or maybe you've been following along on YouTube here and you have showed up every day, or maybe you're just now seeing one of these videos for the first time. But I wanted this to be more than just popping in for the moment. I want you to really begin to get a takeaway from breathwork, and from day 1 to day 25, that there becomes this noticing, that there becomes this awareness of just how much using your breath has simply been a grounding practice, a healing practice, or really a calming practice for some of us, in which that's what this is all for. So when we think about grief during the holidays, the holiday season has a tendency to amplify our grief to the extreme. And for those of you that are grieving, especially grieving a loss of a loved one, maybe this is your first holiday season without your loved one. Maybe this is your 3rd or 4th holiday season without your loved one. And I think that all of these occurrences can attest to one fact, and that is that it doesn't necessarily get a hell of a lot easier. And that even if it does, the holiday season can be a season and a time and a space in that grief that it tends to just bring up the amplification of it. It brings it to the forefront. And the same thing with stress. I know for me personally, stress is one of those things that even before I lost my spouse, before I lost my best friend, even before I lost my brother, right? These very physical losses of a person. Even before that, the holidays, especially when you have kids, can sometimes feel like a stressful time. We're running around, we're trying to be everywhere and do everything and make it to all the stuff and, supply all the gifts and, still pay all the bills. Like, it can just be a stressful space in general. So Soothe the Seasons, this 25 days of breath work, literally is a gift and a concept of teaching you how to come to a space where you can sit with your breath, where you can simply just be. You can utilize all the fancy breath techniques, or you don't have to, but just a place to check in. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I don't mean to keep you guys. These sessions are made to just be 5 to 10 minute breathwork sessions. I know I do a little bit of talking in the beginning, or maybe some talking at the end. So if you're here on YouTube, you'll notice that the videos have been between like 15 and 20 minutes, but the breath session is usually only about 5 to 10 minutes. So tonight's theme for day 4 is comfort in stillness. And so these themes are made to last you all day. For a lot of you, especially my friends on in different time zones, you are kind of checking in with these, so I've heard, in the mornings on YouTube, as opposed to always being able to be here for the live on the night that I do them. I'm a little bit behind tonight in the sense that I've been coming on about 7:45, 8 o'clock, and it's already 9:20. So I know for those of you that are in the US on the East Coast, it's probably starting to get a little bit late. So the themes are made to carry into your next day, or to carry from session to session. So when you get up tomorrow, or as you go through your day tomorrow, and as you wind down your night tonight, we are thinking about comfort in stillness. And so what does that mean? What does that mean to find comfort in the stillness? And I know that when we're stressed and when we are grieving, the last thing that you want to do is find that stillness. Because oftentimes coming into the space of stillness brings up the awareness. And then we got to feel all the feels. Maybe you've heard before, you got to feel to heal. Very true statement. And stillness is one of the things that sort of can bring about the feeling. So how then are we able to find comfort in stillness? So that is sort of the theme that we want to keep at the top of mind as we get ready to start our session today. And our mantra for tonight is, in stillness, I find my strength. In stillness, I find my strength. So comfort in stillness and finding our strength in the stillness. So if you are ready and you are joining me, you can go ahead and take a comfortable seat. If you have a pillow, if you have a blanket, if you would like to get all cozy while you're sitting, you can do that as well. And today we are just simply going to come back to breath awareness. For the next couple of days, we're simply going to come into breath awareness. We did alternate nostril breathing yesterday. We did breath awareness on day 1. We did box breathing on day 2. So I've shown you a couple of different methods, a couple of different techniques that you can use to ground and anchor to your breath. But what about when you don't want to use all the fancy techniques? Can you still do breath work? And the answer is yes. What about if you don't know any fancy techniques? Because sometimes we don't want to get into all that. Sometimes we just need to sit with our breath. And that's where we're going to take the next couple of days to really begin to solidify this practice and growing this habit of coming into that place of stillness and just meeting with your breath. And so as we sit right now and as we get ready to check in with the body, starting at the top of the head, for some of us, this may be the first time that we are checking in with ourselves all day. How many times did you check in with yourself today? For some of us, this could be the first opportunity that we're taking to really just check in with ourselves. So I want to ask you, how are you today? And so as we're sitting up nice and straight and tall, you can get nice and comfy. Make sure your spine is long. You're welcome to do this laying down as well tonight. And we're just going to do a little body scan before we even do anything with breath. Just body scan. So starting at the top of the head, we'll just check in. How is your head? How is your crown? As we body scan, we want to focus on checking in with the exterior, with the physical, with the soma, the actual body. But then we also want to remember to check in with our internal space as well. So not just how is your head and how is your head feeling, because maybe you have a headache tonight. Maybe your head feels great. Maybe your ponytail was too tight today, you know? But we also want to check in with the thoughts, the mind. Are we racy? Are we anxious? Are we steady? Are we calm? Are we peaceful? Are we jumbled? Are we overthinking? Where's your mind? And then we'll bring that awareness down into the neck, checking in with the neck and the shoulders. And just taking stock, we're just observing what is going on in the body. You don't have to try to change anything. You don't have to try to fix anything. We're just checking in. Bringing that awareness down into the chest, into the heart space, checking in with your heart. How is your heart tonight? Checking in with the heart. And we'll bring that awareness down into the belly, down into the abdomen, checking in with the yoni, checking in with the solar plexus, checking in with the sacral. How are we doing through our center? How's our esteem? How's our confidence? How's our root? How are we grounding? And then we'll bring that awareness down into the hips, into the lower part of the body, the tops of the thighs, the legs. And yet bringing that awareness all the way down into the feet. Last but especially not least, bringing that awareness into the feet. I feel like our feet get the least amount of credit. They do the most work. They hold us up all day. And as you've just taken an observation of how you are doing tonight, today, in this present space right now, this now space, I want you to pull your awareness into your breath without changing anything about your breath at all. I just want you to begin to be the observer of your breath. Are you taking deep breaths in and out? Are your breaths shallow? Do you notice if you're breathing into the fullness of your lungs expansion? Or are your breaths kind of shallow? Have you been sitting with poor posture today, making it impossible to fully expand your lungs? Are you breathing into the chest? Are you breathing into the belly? How is your breath? We're just checking in. You don't have to change anything. Just observing. Is the air that pulls in through your nose, does it feel cold? Does it feel room temperature? Maybe one side of your nostrils are working a little bit harder than the other. Take notice of if you feel you're inhaling more air through one nostril than the other. And we're not changing anything. We're not doing anything with the breath. We're just observing. How are you breathing in this present moment? As you begin to focus in on that awareness, I want you to see if you can begin to soften the body just a little bit. Not changing the breath, but just softening the body. Maybe you notice your shoulders are still kind of uptight toward the ears. Maybe we can relax the shoulders. We create space between the ears, between the neck and the shoulders, between the ear and the shoulder. So relax the shoulders. Relax the face. Maybe we're relaxing in the face. Maybe your jaw is tight or clenched, or maybe Your tongue is pressing up heavily against the roof of your mouth. So we just observe and see if we can just soften the muscles of the face. And without collapsing into your body and falling into a poor posture or slouching, see if we can begin to sort of relax in the belly. Relaxing in the hips. Relaxing in the legs. And I invite you now to see if we can deepen the breath just a little bit. And you may already notice that from when we first observed the breath until right now, it's possible that your breath has already naturally slowed down all by itself. You notice that as you ground in and as you start to feel more calm, the breath will naturally do its thing and slow down. But now we're going to put a little intention behind it. So no fancy techniques tonight. Just a deep breath in through your nose and a deep breath out through your nose. And then we observe. Do you notice any changes when you take that deep breath in and a deep breath out? And maybe we think in our mind about how we can describe the change or the feeling that accompanies a deep breath. Ever notice when the breath is anxious, one of the things that we need to do, it's always this: take a deep breath, take a deep breath. Or when you're stressed or frustrated, you ever just breathe in really deep and go, and just let out a sigh. And what happens on that out breath? What does that out breath feel like? And so thinking back to our mantra yesterday of releasing the weight, I think that's a great way to describe that out breath, is that out breath feels like a lifting of tension, a releasing of the weight. Our mantra yesterday was, I let go of what no longer serves me. And sometimes that out breath can feel like a small letting go. And so as you bring your awareness back to your breath, we'll take another deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then we observe. Again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Anytime we are looking to come into a space of calm, finding comfort in the stillness, we want to attempt to make our exhale longer than the inhale. This often sends signals to the brain. It then activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It brings us into a space of calm. It takes us out of fight, flight. When we're grieving, when we're stressed, that fight, flight response is fully activated. And when the fight, flight response is fully activated, we are not fully in our breath. We are not fully breathing at a rate that is optimum for our health. Bringing our awareness back to the breath, you're going to take another deep breath in through the nose. And I want you to bring in as much air, fill your lungs as big as you can. And then slowly let it out. And we'll take another deep breath in through the nose. And slowly let it out. And as we anchor into the breath and ground into the moment right now, I just want you to again observe, take stock. Maybe your mind is starting to move, thoughts are starting to come up, and that's okay. Because learning to sit with stillness, it's not an easy thing. Thoughts are normal, they're very regular. I just want to point out that when thoughts and random things involuntarily come through your mind space, it's okay that they come. It's also okay to observe them. But as you exhale and as you breathe, we want to just kind of push them away. You can observe it, but push it away. What we give our focus to expands. And so we don't want to give focus and give rise to the expansion of thought, but rather just being the observer. That's the cool thing about coming into your breath work or working with meditation and even just coming into stillness like we are right now. Taking a moment to just stop what you've been doing, stop the chaos, stop all the running around, stop the catering to everything else around you, and just come home to yourself for a minute. We can find that it helps. It grounds. And it can even give you a moment to see those thoughts from the outside. Which brings us to the other point, that you are not your thoughts. They're just thoughts. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. And so I want to leave you tonight once again with a mantra that in stillness I find my strength. Sometimes all it takes is this seat. Sometimes all it takes is just being right here, grounded into the present moment. Breathe in, breathe out. In stillness, I find my strength. Breathe in, breathe out. And when you're ready, we'll drop the chin to the chest, drawing a circle with the nose. Little gentle movement. And on your next inhale, we'll go the opposite direction. Inhale. Little head roll, drawing a circle with the nose. Nothing major, nothing grand, just bringing a little movement. We'll inhale, loop the shoulders back and down. And we'll take one last breath to close us out for tonight. We'll pull a deep cleansing breath in through the nose, filling up as big as you can. Expand, expand, expand. Hold it. And you can part the lips, audible exhale. Drop it all down. And so before we go, I want you to just observe now. How is this space, your temple, your body, from when you first sat down, when we first started, to right now? And do we see how simple it can be to find comfort in the stillness? Thank you guys for joining me for Soothe the Season. This is 25 days of breath work for grief and stress during the holidays. My name is Addie, your breathwork facilitator. And that is day 4 in the bag. Super simple. Breath awareness. This replay will be available on YouTube. So if you hopped in late, if you are just joining me, or if you completely missed the live tonight, that's no problem. Feel free to head over to my YouTube channel, and all of the days will be there. You can pop into these breathwork sessions anytime. These are tools for you to remember that your breath is the #1 free tool that you have at your disposal at all times to help you with stress, through your grief process, and through anything else that might be going on inside. So thank you guys once again for joining me. If you do go on YouTube and follow along with the video, please leave me a comment. Let me know you came from TikTok. Also, if you know anybody that could benefit from breath work, or that might be grieving, or that might be just experiencing a high level of stress during these holidays and you feel like this would help, please share and send, as this is my gift to you, 25 days of free breath work. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Actually, I might see you guys tomorrow morning for breath work. I have a casual conversations live tomorrow night that I normally do. So it'll either be late tomorrow night, or we may try to jump in the middle of the day or in the morning. Either way, I will see you tomorrow for day 5. Have a great night.